Hello and welcome to the latest edition of This Racing Life, which brings you all the build-up to this year's Dublin Racing Festival at Leopardstown. Here's what you can look forward to in this week's show.
Every horse is catered for, and I just think the concept of it is brilliant, and I think the proof of the pudding is in the eating is the fact that the horses have done well there, have gone on to run very well in Cheltenham and Aintree.
I think we've got 2 days fantastic racing. We've got 8 Grade 1 events. We've got more prize money during the 2 days than any other course in UK and Europe. So I think it's a real attraction, and I think the people of Dublin and wider Ireland have bought into it.
You see the crowds there, and it's also the horses, all the top horses going there. It seems to be very well timed for the festivals in the spring.
I think when initiated, like Pat had said to us, like it was going to turn out to be like a mini Cheltenham, an Irish Cheltenham. I think it's certainly going to work that way. A lot of English people travel there, a lot of people in the north come down to it now. Super racing.
Since its inception a few years ago, Jessica Harrington has been a huge supporter of the Dublin Racing Festival at Leopardstown, and she enjoyed one of the signature moments of a fabulous career when stable star Sizing John stormed to victory in the Paddy Power Irish Gold Cup.
Well, I think it's brilliant. I think what they've done, putting the two Leopardstown meetings together and making a 2-day meeting, has worked incredibly well. It's the right distance away from Cheltenham. You've got enough time. You've got 6 weeks. This year actually, you've only got 5 weeks till Cheltenham, because Cheltenham's very early this year, or 5.5 weeks. But it's a really good concept. I think the races they've got in it and the distances of the races they've now got are right. You know, you've got a 2-mile novice hurdle, you've got a 2.6 novice hurdle. You know, they're every horse is catered for, and I just think the concept of it is brilliant. And I think the proof of the pudding is in the eating is the fact that the horses have done well there, have gone on to run very well in Cheltenham and Aintree.
And it's obviously still in its infancy, but has it quickly made up into a priority for you? Would it be up there already with the likes of Cheltenham, Aintree, Punchestown in terms of a race meaning that you really have to target?
Oh yes, definitely. And you know, without the Grade 1 races, they've also got some very good competitive handicaps as well, which is great.
And it's obviously a meeting you love to have success at as well. And touchwood, the first couple of years have gone well, haven't they? Whisperinthebreeze won last year, won a big handicap, and a lot of the horses ran well in defeat too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and the year before we had some success as well, which was great. But listen, it's a race meeting that I definitely would target, but you do have to have the right material going in. I don't think it's going to be very competitive, and it'll be great racing.
And we're going to see, hopefully, SUPASUNDAE there as well. Of course, the Irish champion hurdler race he won 2 years ago. Late start to the season for him this time. Is that by design, or is it just a case he's taking a bit more getting ready as he gets older?
He's having to take a bit more getting ready, and we had to do a little bit of a wind up on him as well, which delayed us. But now he's good. And hopefully he will, he seems to be, again, he's a horse that's getting down to his racing weight. Aideen, who rides him out every day, say his enthusiasm is all back, and his wind seems to be very clear now.
And we've seen him this morning. Both he and Sizing John live outside next door to each other, actually, don't they?
They do, yeah. They both live in outdoor paddocks. They're both getting on. They're both 10 now. And they're both, when you get older, you get a bit stiffer. And the fact that they're walking around all night and moving about, it definitely helps the two of them.
Last year, Jesse, he did the Dublin Racing Festival. Then, of course, he went to Cheltenham and did Aintree, won at Aintree, and finished up at Punchestown. Is it realistic to expect him to run at all those big meetings again, do you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's only in, actually, the champion hurdle at Cheltenham. He'll go 2.5 mile at Aintree and back to 2 miles at Punchestown. I'm not sure. He just when going 3 miles, yes, he does stay. But he just in a Grade 1, I'm not sure he quite gets home.
And in terms of his fitness for Leopardstown, I'm sure he's as ready as you can have him, but would you expect him to improve for Cheltenham?
I definitely would expect him to improve.
And he was so good at Aintree last year, the way you're talking there as well, the intermediate trip, do you think that maybe these days could be his optimum?
That's probably his best distance, 2.5 miles.
We look forward to seeing him. What else have you got for Leopardstown, Jesse? I think you mentioned Jet is likely to keep Size John company.
Jet will go in the Irish Gold Cup. He's just a horse that's in between stools. He's a good, genuine horse. He's improved for stepping up to 3 miles. He's put in some good performances. He'll appreciate if the ground is not too soft.
And it's a really exciting time of the year, Jesse. This morning we've had the luxury of seeing some of your really top flat horses mixing it with the jumpers out on the gallops. And I know with a lot of the success you've had with the flat horses in the last couple of years, 1 or 2 people have suggested maybe you might concentrate more on that aspect of the game. But I think you're very keen to stress that you're still very much a jumping person at heart, and you want to maintain your levels of that in that discipline, don't you?
Oh yeah, jumping's my, where I started. Jumping is really my heart is in the jumping, and I've got some very nice jumpers, and they'll all come to fruition, I think, in the spring, because I have just been a bit behind time this year, which won't do them any harm because a lot of them are quite young, and I hope that I keep them sound and they'll all turn into really good horses next year. But the jumping is where I started, and the jumping is where I'll stay going in. The flat I enjoy, I must say I love it. It's lovely having some nice horses and very well-bred horses. But, they're in and out. You have them as 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, and then they're either sold, gone to stud or wherever. And so it's the jumpers, they're here for the lifetime, and I must say I do enjoy that.
Off the back of a fabulous Christmas festival at Leopardstown, Henry de Bromhead heads to the Dublin Racing Festival with a squad of enviable strength and depth that includes PCI Irish champion hurdle hopeful Honeysuckle.
She's been in good form. Yeah, we were able to back off her a little bit up till Christmas. Obviously she was really good in the Hatton's Grace, and now she's going for the PCI champion hurdle at the moment anyhow. Yeah,
she's going to be dropping back down in trip from 2.5 miles to 2. Do you think that's a factor at all?
Yeah, it has to be a bit of a concern, so I suppose, dates-wise, it's perfect timing for the spring. So there's a lot of races. There's a couple of other races. There's the Red Mills Hurdle at Goran, or there's also the Mares Hurdle at Punchestown, but they just seem to be getting a bit close. So long as, the ground is okay and everything is right, I think we're happy to go to Leopardstown.
It's hard to get a hand on how good she is, isn't it? Because she's never been beaten, and even she seems to keep on getting better. Like her last run, as you said, in the Hatton's Grace, that was probably her best run yet. Yeah,
she's been brilliant up until now. So long may it continue. Yeah,
she's pace. She's got stamina for 2.5, and once the ground is safe, you think she'll be okay. Whatever the ground throws up, as long as it's not.
Yeah, I think so. Look, I mean, it's a concern dropping back to 2, obviously, but as I say, it's sort of the obvious race to have a go at, and also I suppose we learn more as well,
Yeah.
So, but it would have to be a bit of a concern, like we're dropping back half a mile, but usually in those top 2 mile races they go a good gallop, and like obviously you need to stay well.
And will Petit Mouchoir, he'll join her in the Irish champion hurdle?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he had a super run there at Christmas, and yeah, look, he's great. He seldom runs a bad race. He's got a great attitude, and he's tough out. And his run at Christmas was, we were delighted with it.
Yeah, the Irish Gold Cup, the Paddy Power Irish Gold Cup. You've got Chris's Dream on track for that, is that right?
Yeah, he seems in good form. He was really good in the Troy Town. He definitely likes a good ease in the ground, so we'll be fairly cautious with him. But once there is a nice ease, we're keen to go.
He was great in the Troy Town, wasn't he? Like he I mean, it's a handicap, so this is obviously a grade 1, so that's a step up, but it's always a competitive handicap, and he won it with such authority.
Yeah, he won it well. He got a good hike. He's now actually 160. He got another pound the other day. So look, he's up around the ratings where he's entitled to go for one of these races, and we'll see where we are from there. But he's always been a horse that we've held in very high regard. He kind of tails off, so we've tried to sort of we obviously haven't run since the Troy Town. We think he runs well fresh, so we'll just limit his runs for the moment.
And after he won the Troy Town as well as he did, off what a mark put in the mid 140s, did you think then, before you saw his new mark, that he might have to step up in grade out of handicaps?
Yeah, we thought it was sort of thought so. You know, the Thyestes was another race on our mind, but once we hit 159, 160, it seemed the wiser thing to do is aim for the Gold Cup. Yeah.
And do you think Leopardstown will suit him? Because he seems to be that kind of big, galloping, striding horse, as long as the ground is soft, that, you know, that big long back straight on the uphill.
I hope so, yeah, absolutely. Like, he loves Navan, and he's won twice around there, so I hope so, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's probably going to have to step up to be competitive in an Irish Gold Cup, but he's still a likely race horse, isn't he?
Yeah, very much so. And like, although we stepped him up last year at Aintree, you know, he just didn't run to form. Those last two runs just weren't. So, you know, on his novice form, he beat Champagne Classic. That for me was probably his last run as a novice, that you could sort of take literally. And Champagne Classic is obviously a decent horse as well.
And why do you think that was? Is it just that he wasn't fresh, or that he just wasn't?
We don't really know, to be honest. He did it the year before. The year before, we'd only just bought him in December, so we sort of gave him the excuse that he hadn't really been trained towards the spring. But last year he did it again, so that's why, like I say, after the Troytown, we just put him away, backed off him, and we'll try and keep him as fresh as we can.
Applutard, he's been very good. Was great the last time, dropping back and trip over 2 miles.
Yeah, really happy with him. He's been really good, like you say. We kind of have this thing that he's better left than right. His form seems much stronger left-handed than right-handed. There are very few sort of middle distance left-handed chases for him to go for. So I've sort of said reluctantly we'd go for the race at Christmas, the Paddy Power chase at Christmas, and he came out and won it nicely. So it was fantastic. He seems in great form since, and he's entered for the Grade 1 on the Saturday.
Yeah, like how big a surprise was that he won the last day over 2 miles in a furlong?
You know me, it's always a surprise.
They win.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you're going in against an odds-on shot who was ultra impressive at Punchestown last year. Any time he's run, he's been hugely impressive. Like, we know our lad is a very good horse, so you're hoping for a good run, and then after that, like with any race really, you know, he never bowled over. Like, he was second favourite. Things can happen. So and we know he's a real good horse. So I think trip wise, like you know, the Champion Chase is just short of 2 miles on probably a tighter kind of a track. So I mean, bar the ground was very soft. I think we aim for obviously the Dublin Racing Festival, and then probably the Ryanair.
But he's in good form and on track.
He seems in great form, and yeah, with touch wood, we're happy with him. Yeah.
Just on the left-handed, right-handed thing, like, would you say, you know, it's a fair point, because his form is way better going left than going right, but he doesn't seem to jump to his left.
I can't tell you why. It's mad. Maybe it's me, but I tell you, I was so disappointed every time I left a right-handed track last year. Every time. And I tried distance, ground, everything, and he just always ran disappointingly. For me, it was sort of always a 140 kind of a run, whereas every time he ran on a left, we didn't know after Duc de Genève, you know, whether that was probably a 155 run. His Cheltenham run was a 160. The handicappers put him up to 160 after that. And Navan was a 160 when he was second to Ballyosheen. And now he's up to 165 after Leopardstown. So I can't tell you why.
You can't
but
argue
all I
the
can
facts.
tell you is the disappointment whenever I left a right-handed track was fairly palpable. Yeah.
So you were looking to run him right-handed?
For the moment, you know, we'll see. Like, you know, but for the moment, it seems the wise thing to do. Yeah.
Juvenile hurdler Aspire Tower, he's been fantastic on his 2 runs so far.
Yeah, he's been really good. We were very lucky to get him. He was sent to us only in September. He had some really good flat form, and I suppose if you were heading out to buy a horse from the flat, he kind of ticked all the boxes. Soft ground, 1.5 miles, rated mid-80s, big scopy horse. You know, you couldn't have done much better if you went to look for one, and he was sent to us. So we were very lucky to get him. We were planning to go to a schooling hurdle. We didn't get to one, and I was telling his owners beforehand, you know, he'll probably need the run, and then he goes and sluices up in Punchestown. And I thought, yeah, what he did in Leopardstown was brilliant, yeah.
Because he was keen enough in Punchestown. He wasn't as keen then at Leopardstown the last day.
Yeah, he was sort of keen and then green at Punchestown, and he nearly ran out at the second, and it was crazy. But once he sort of, Rachel asked him to go, he took off. No, the last day, I'm not sure Rachel gave him that option. She just went, and yeah, he was happy to do that. He really powered home, yeah.
Yeah. Notebook, he's on track for the Arkle, is he? The Irish
Yeah,
Arkle?
that's the plan at the moment. He's in great form. Obviously won nicely at Christmas, which was great. He just seems to love jumping, which is brilliant, yeah.
And again, he's a horse who, like, as a hurdler last year, he was good, but not as good as he is now as a chaser.
Yeah, 135 hurdler. Probably his best run was at Punchestown until you didn't really know. He beat Janadil on New Year's Day at Tramore, but you're kind of thinking, well, it was a Tramore maiden hurdle, and, you know, no disrespect to Tramore, but when Janadil didn't appear again, you had no real gauge to work off, and I kept going up to 2.5, which was wrong. So he went 2.5. He was just beaten at Thurles in the Michael Parcel. Then we went for the Neptune, and he just didn't see it out at all. And so then we dropped back to 2 miles in Punchestown, and I thought he ran really well that day. I think it was a 4-year-old beat him, giving away plenty of weight, and that was probably the best run of the year. And that was probably the run I kind of went, you know, having seen him school in the indoor, kind of thought, hopefully now he might just get up a couple of grades over fences.
Yeah. So you think he was improving anyway as a hurdler?
Yeah, I think, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, I think his Tramore New Year's Day, you know, that was, when you see Janadil rated 144, you know, he beat him there, and they drew well clear. So I'm not sure, but certainly since he's met a fence, yeah, he's turned inside out.
You've had a fantastic season so far. Like, the horses seem to be in really good form. Like, you know, Christmas was great. Even the build up to Christmas was great, and momentum rolling on through, hopefully, towards the rest of the season.
Yeah, look, as I say, we're very fortunate. We've got nice horses, great owners supporting us with nice horses, and a great team of people so working with us. Like, a lot of hard work goes into it. Brilliant rider, riding at the top of her game, you know, and our other riders. So, you know, touch wood, things are good at the moment, but yeah, there's
Henry
always
being Henry.
Henry being Henry, you know, there's always something there. So look, we'll try and continue as we are, and keep trying to do it as well as we can, and hopefully get some results.
Like, do you think this is as good a team of horses that you've had at this stage of any season that you've been training?
I would say you'd have to say
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
got depth,
yeah,
hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, absolutely. I'd say you'd have to say that this for this season. Yeah.
Tim Husbands is the new CEO of Leopardstown Racecourse, and with a strong track record in the tourism and leisure industry, he is excited to be at the helm ahead of this year's Dublin Racing Festival.
I've been going to horse racing since I was knee-high with my mum and dad over in the Midlands in England. So I've been going to point, I've been going to horse racing, show jumping, all different aspects. So yeah, I have a real passion and interest for it. I've been in post for a couple of weeks, but I obviously attended the Christmas festival where we saw some fantastic racing, great buzz about the place, and a great atmosphere, and you know, some very good sport.
Very much so, and we're looking forward to more of the same at the Dublin Racing Festival. I know you haven't been here too long, but have an event of that magnitude on the horizon must be exciting, if a little nerve-wracking, I guess, at the same time, is it?
Well, I've got a great team around me, so the nerves have not kicked in yet, but it's a great position for it to be between Leopardstown at Christmas and Cheltenham, so it gives that platform for horses and trainers to see how their horses are doing, how they're progressing. And I think we've got 2 days fantastic racing. We've got 8 Grade 1 events. We've got more prize money during the 2 days than any other course in UK and Europe. So I think it's a real attraction, and I think the people of Dublin and wider Ireland have bought into it.
And in terms of the facilities, a lot of our viewers will be aware there's a big refurbishment job being undertaken here at Leopardstown for quite some time. What can visitors to the Dublin Racing Festival look forward to this time? We're in the newly refurbished racing hall here.
As you say, you're in the racing hall where we have food to eat, we have bookmakers, we have the tote, etc. So we have a great different food offering. The rest of the development, as you say, is a scaled one, which will take place over the course of the next 6 to 9 months. We've got a pre-parade ring, which started over in Christmas, and by the time we get to hopefully June or July, then we'll hold the whole weighing room and the jockeys enclosure all finished as well. So it's a very exciting time.
And the festival itself, Tim, is in its 3rd year now. It seems to have gone from strength to strength, albeit there were 1 or 2 issues last year. How have the ticket sales and the preparations been going this time around? Ticket sales are going really well. Actually, there obviously is a sustained interest in it, and I think last year helped. I think it's given us some profile. I think Christmas has given us an added boost as well. So we still obviously have general enclosure tickets, but a lot of the hospitality is already sold out, so there's great interest, not only from Ireland, but further overseas. And from a personal point of view, are you looking forward to meeting a lot of the people that you're going to be dealing with over the next few years at the festival over those couple of days? I'm looking to further enjoy engaging with the whole racing industry. There's so many different facets. This race meeting is actually also to say thank you to all of our sponsors and our partners and the trainers and the jockeys and the stable lads, etc. So I'm looking forward to meeting some of them. I've met a lot of them already on the Stallion Trail and on other industry events, and they've been very warm and welcoming, and look forward to working with them in trying to help position Leopardstown even more as one of the premier racetracks in Europe. And of course, Tim, it's not all about the action on the track. For all that I'm sure is going to be explosive. Just give us a flavour of what's going on in terms of the entertainment for people. It's a big sporting weekend, of course, as well. Yeah, I mean, Dublin Racing Festival is meant to appeal to everybody of all ages, including the family, and it's a celebration of jump racing, it's a celebration of sport, culture and entertainment. As you say, we have the Six Nations rugby happening at the same time, so we will be showing that live after the racing, and then further after we finish the rugby, then we have Aslan performing on the Saturday night and George Murphy on the Sunday night. So there really is something for everybody to come and see, and I really challenge the people who like horse racing to come and enjoy it, but also to try and invite those that traditionally don't go horse racing, because it's a fantastic opportunity to kind of break the Christmas mould and get out and enjoy what's on your doorstep. Just a stone's throw from Leopardstown Racecourse is the Leopardstown Inn, and the two venues enjoy a mutually beneficial relationship, especially during big race meetings such as the Dublin Racing Festival.
I think it started with a cup of coffee with Pat Keogh there one morning here. We were discussing the benefits of the Leopardstown Inn teaming up with the racecourse, and the benefits from both sides, to see could be obviously encourage more local people to go racing, and obviously in return that we'd get more people coming back from the racing and drinking the Leopardstown Inn. So that was the starter, and it's worked out so well so far anyway.
That's it, and we're into the 3rd year now. How has business been in those first couple of years over those 2 days?
Yeah, it's been good, Gary. Yeah, historically we've always done well out of the races, but there was always something missing there, as I say, and the connection and the partnership has certainly helped us to bring that forward there. As I say, it's we run buses back from the races, and I say a lot of our local people here probably would have never been to Leopardstown. So
really,
from that point
even
of
though
view,
it's on the doorstep?
On the doorstep. I had said that to Pat Edition when we spoke about it there. I think down the country there, the local people will always support the local racecourse, but here it's not as much. I always felt that you'd speak to people who'd never been to the races, so look, it helped from both sides. So hopefully the more people going to Leopardstown, more people come back.
That's it.
Drinking the Leopardstown Inn.
And in spite of that, are there plenty of people around here who like the racing? They might come in and watch the
yeah,
racing
like
in
I
the
say,
pub?
absolutely, yeah. Like we've hardcore people who enjoy the racing, watch the racing channel on most days here, every day, and yeah, there's hardcore people who enjoy racing like myself, and willing to lose a few bob every now and then. But yeah, look, as I say, it's an enjoyable sport for people, and it works well for us.
And can you feel the build up to the events kind of growing year on year, the atmosphere?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when initiated, like Pat had said to us, like it was going to turn out to be like a mini Cheltenham, an Irish Cheltenham. Like I think it's certainly going to work that way. A lot of English people travel there. A lot of people in the north come down to it now. Super racing. Like what is it, 8 or 9 Grade 1 races up there over 2 days, and yeah, it looks really good again this year. So hopefully, we come back a few winners.
Fingers crossed. And I know you've played your part in the build up to it as well, haven't you, with some of your preview events? You've had
we've had some preview nights here. Yeah, we had one there last Thursday. Look, they were always well supported. Big crowd. We had Sean Flanagan, Katie Walsh at the one we had there. Great interest with the locals there. We gave people a few pints and made a bit of a night of it. So yeah, it was very well supported and always helping. And as we've just been discussing a little bit earlier there, 1 or 2 other hostelries in this neck of the woods have closed down of late. Has that helped your business and made you maybe see more? Yeah, look, it's a competitive business, like it's a competitive game. You need to be at it. The business is so event driven, and when we're so lucky to have Leopardstown Racecourse on our doorstep, we need to take full advantage of it. So yeah, we do well. As I say, it's on the up, and hopefully it keeps going that way. And you've had some big racing names down here in the recent years as well, isn't that right?
Yeah, we had a couple. Yeah, Rich
Ritchie pulled the point here one night for us. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know what his rate of pay was now, but I think it cost a few pounds. But yeah, Rich Ritchie was here. We get a lot of the jockeys down here as well. We'll drop in for a bit of food, or some of the trainers. Tony Martin's always a regular to us. Yeah, Shark O'Hanlon, I've seen him here a few times. So yeah, there's a lot of them pop in there.
Usual suspects.
Usual suspects. So we need to see more of them. We need to see more of them. But yes, absolutely, they're very supportive, and I say the race course are very supportive of us and sending these people down. So again, it's part of the partnership. It works both ways.
And what about the 2 days individually, Jerry? Is there much of a difference in the dynamic, the crowd?
Yeah. Look, as I say, on the Saturday, as I say, you know, I mean, people are probably up the weekend. They're more inclined to stay out later and go drinking and whatever like that, and have a stay over. And where the Sunday is probably more people are probably heading back. So it's probably more a food business and stuff like that, and people are less likely to kind of go on the drink when they're up for work the next morning. But yeah, look, it works well. We're busy on both days, and as I say, it's been very good the last couple of years.
Have you had a chance to go racing yourself in the couple of years since it's
I'll always get up. I'll certainly get up this year anyway. But as I say, I'll always pop up for a few races regardless what's on. Even if I'm working, I'll go up. If it's the Champion Stakes in Leopardstown, whatever race meet, I'll always pop up for a race or two. And yes, I'll do the same. Dublin Racing Festival, I might get the 2 days in.
Very important. And the staff here, do they enjoy the
look, again, the race course, you know what I mean, are very good at sending down tickets and giving us tickets for the staff. And again, we try and encourage them to bring their friends racing. And yeah, they'll go. A lot of them are working this weekend, so I don't know how many are going to get up there. I'm sure I'll have plenty of requests in there for time off. But yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, that's the whole thing. As I said, it needs to work both ways for us with the race course.
Yeah, that's it. And Leopardstown themselves, they're undertaking a big development at the moment. I guess it's going to grow and grow for you guys on the back of that.
Yeah, look, it's like, as I said, when we spoke to Pat and Dishy, but I could see the work that Pat was doing up there and where the race course was going, and we just want to be part of it. Super setup up there, super staff up there. You can go in there, you can see it. To me, it's Ireland's premier race course, always will be. It's only going one way.
Thank you for watching This Racing Life, and don't forget, if you can't make it to Leopardstown this weekend, you can watch all the action live with us on Racing TV.